So yeah, I think yeah, the best way to start then is probably hearing Charlotte and listening to her, getting that first-hand experience. And yeah, Charlotte, maybe you want to go ahead.
Thank you so much, Heavy. And yeah, cheers, Heavy and Andres. A year ago, almost to the day, I was exhausted after a very busy 2021, and a couple of people had kept mentioning this funny thing called the Bioleadership Project to me. And I was thinking, oh, I wonder what that is. And it's now lovely just to notice a year later, Javi and Andres are really good friends of mine and people who have properly like steered me on my way and been amazing support to me. And it's lovely doing this call now because we were actually all together on a walk, a rare and lovely cold walk in Bristol last week, which was a really nice opportunity to see some people in real life because this course is all virtual. And I've really enjoyed making friends with people around the world through the Bioleadership Programme. So really special to be here and nice to see some familiar faces. Lots of you I've promised to talk to you about Bioleadership, and now I've just told you that I was conveniently chatting at this, so it's nice that you've come along. I'm going to share a couple of slides just to give you a whistle-stop tour of what the Bioleadership Programme meant to me. And then, yeah, Andres will go through some of the details. So this is the story bit and you'll get the kind of details in a second. So yeah, just to give you a little bit of a flavour, where was I this time last year when I decided to apply? I guess I was in the midst of a really busy working life, doing lots of really rewarding projects that I felt were helpful and useful. I was also quite tired. I was doing a lot of operating in some quite senior and corporate contexts. I find that deeply rewarding and challenging. But also sometimes quite draining. And I was also at a moment where I had lots of opportunities coming my way. And I was thinking, I've got to make some really smart decisions now. I need to be really clear on where I want to focus my energies. I know I've got some chances to sort of develop the leadership I want to do and kind of take it to the next level, but I'm not quite sure where to go. And I was really conscious this time last year of how tired I was and this kind of impending exhaustion. And, oh, I don't really know how I'm going to keep working like this. And I need to take a little bit of time and I'm not sure how. So that's where I was when I started the program. I think for me, what was my experience of doing the program? Well, the left-hand side, I'm afraid, is the guilty truth of what my desk can sometimes look like. Pretty busy, a lot going on. And what I was wanting was a bit of that space, which you might see on the right-hand side. And so what did doing the program look like? Well, it was a 9-month program. And it happened virtually, which is part of the beauty of it for me. I was really desperate to join communities that had a bit more balance. I found myself working in a lot of spaces where I was really craving different perspectives. And what I found through the portal of this computer was access to a community that was much more rich than any I'd ever been part of before. I really valued with the Bioleadership crew the kind of true balance between global north and global south perspectives that I was exposed to. I loved the fact that we were all online, so we could meet people doing very different work in very different places. You know, I did meet amazing leaders on this program from all over the world, some of whom were running hyper local projects. A good friend of mine now who's doing a big rewilding project in Beirut, thinking about what forestry would look like across the Lebanon, right through to people based in offices doing big corporate gigs. So I really enjoyed the fact that it was online. I could meet more people. But what was really special to me was that I have a busy calendar. You can see it on the left-hand side. And sometimes squeezing in training online or virtual opportunities can be hard. But the brilliant thing for me about the Bioleadership program was that the nature of the program and the structure of it actually forced me to take more time outside. There were constant invitations to block out time in my calendar where I would go alone in nature to reflect. That was sort of part of the homework, and that was the joy to me. So it added a new space to a busy year. And I found that signing up to the Bioleadership program was like an investment in knowing I would bank some time to breathe. And that was really important to me. So what was it like? It's really hard for me to tell the story of the 9-month journey that I've just come out of. It wrapped up in November, so it feels really like, oh, it's just happened. And I could tell loads of different stories in lots of different ways, but here is just a little smattering, a couple of snapshots. So what can you see on this screen? On the bottom left, you can see a slide with a framework on. I love frameworks. I love like tools and logical systems and extra resources. I'm probably a bit of a geek, so I really enjoy having access to fresh thinking. I got a lot of fresh thinking on the Bioleadership program. I heard from amazing speakers who gave me some really practical tools that I could start to use in my working life. The one above that photo, a photo of us in some rocky mountains, I got to meet new people I'd never met before, and I got to take opportunities to take time outdoors. The Bioleadership program does run online, but there's also a whole network of supportive in-person events. These happen around the world in different places, sometimes led by community members in different regions. Some may be near you, some may not. But there's also many invitations to block off time in your diary to make opportunities for you to take time outdoors. This photo is of a retreat that I did. The Bioleadership program also runs standalone retreats as well as this long 9-month course. And I took one to the north of Scotland in September. That was a really precious experience for me. It was a 6-day retreat. That was really powerful. What else can you see on this screen? You can see a photo of me taking a selfie on my laptop with some bricks behind it. That is my bit of outdoor space in the flat where I live, and an outdoor staircase. One of the things I discovered through the Bioleadership program was Qigong, a type of meditative movement that I'd never done before. And I now have a friend who I met through the Bioleadership program, and we meet online on a Tuesday morning and we do some breathing and movement together. And that little gift, that little window of time together has been so precious to me. And it's just been like, oh, I have this accountability buddy online who helps me do this thing that gives me a bit of a boost and forces me to relax. So that's a little thing. And you can see the photo below of some people practicing that Qigong in person in a circle. But my little digital way of doing that in my daily life has been really precious. In the top right, you can see a tent with not much around it. This is just a visual reminder of something that the Bioleadership Project really encourages, which is taking time to sit and be peaceful outdoors and to relax. And that's something I'd never not done much of. I grew up in cities and I don't really feel comfortable just sitting around in nature. I'm often busy and I'm running around or doing stuff. And I rarely take time just to sit and breathe and reflect and notice. And that's something that's been a real gift to me of this program. You can also see faces of brilliant speakers. I could have so many snapshots of different faces of people who have moved me and talked to me on this program. I think the people around me who've known me while I've been doing this course have often heard me tell stories of, oh my goodness, the person who came to speak to us today told us this, or I heard from someone who had this approach. I never thought like that. The quality of the amazing people that the Bioleadership Project has managed to attract and who are part of the faculty or who come along to give training has been such a pleasure for me. I've got to hear different ways of thinking from all over the world, and that's been really, really valuable. The other thing you can see on the bottom right is some delicious food. It's partly because it's a photo of a retreat that Andres was involved and Javi actually in leading, just a little 2-day retreat in some woods, and they cooked some really yummy food. But the reason it's there actually is to remind me of the kind of nourishment that I feel I've had from this year. So what I would describe this year as has been that it's been like opportunities to really like top up my own batteries, to take on some nutrients and some nourishment, and to find ways to have like really joyful nourishment. And for me also that picture celebrates being looked after. I felt so looked after by this Bioleadership community, and that's probably been one of the biggest things. So yes, I've had opportunities to hear from clever, smart, interesting people, lots of new frameworks. I've also had opportunities to meet people and feel in community, to build new relationships, to find new habits and behaviors that can strengthen my leadership. But the biggest thing for me has been this way to find my own relationship with being outdoors and how that can strengthen my leadership, my own relationship with peace and silence and relaxation, and just to let myself be looked after by some really smart and wise people. So that's a few snapshots of my experience of a 9-month whirlwind of a course. So where am I now? It's only a 9-month program. That might feel like a short space of time, but I would say the thing I've noticed is a little bit feeling more grounded. When I think about where I was on my sofa last year when I applied, I was thinking, oh shit, I don't think I can keep working like this. I need to find a way to pause. And I feel like this has really given me a chance to pause. As I said, loads of new thinking, some really big ideas. I have learned a lot about kind of systemic change. I've learned a lot about permaculture and biology and different dynamics I didn't know much about. And I found ways to connect some of these bits of thinking that I'd kept picking up on. The best thing for me has been this community, this new community to pause with. The sessions, I will always just remember noticing that each session began so calmly and with such an invitation to relax. So my busy days, I would block out these chunks of time for the course and kind of get myself curled up on a sofa with a blanket, and they would always begin with a slowing down and that opportunity to breathe with people and to slow down, but also to play with people. I've had a lot of fun with the people I've met, really honest and vulnerable conversations, challenging each other, but a real sense of play has been lovely. I do a lot of quite stressful climate work, and the play bit has been really precious. I've found new collaborators. I'm now doing work with people I would never have met if I hadn't done the program. That's been amazing for me to find people to test some of the things I want to do with, to learn skills from, and to do different work with. That's been a real like practical, tangible output for me. But mainly it's just, yeah, new places for recharge. My batteries were feeling very depleted last year, and now they're in a much better place thanks to the Bio Leadership Project.